So, if you are a football fan, you probably watched the 49ers Detroit Lions game and the sad the sad fumbling of a 17-point lead, literally and figuratively. Lions, what the fuck? But that's not what I'm here to talk about. At the end of the game, they're interviewing Ayuk. And he does what all athletes, not all athletes, but a lot of athletes do. He says, God was on our side today. And I know I'm not treading new ground here, but it's one thing to believe in God. Go for it. But to believe that God is choosing sides of a football game, isn't that a little ridiculous? And also, why does God, if this is true, why does God hate the Detroit Lions so much? Because according to your logic, that God favored you on this day, that means that he also has determined that Detroit Lions will not win, no matter how much it looks like they might. And I have to say, why? What did the Detroit Lions do to God? And you can't even point it to individual humans because the team is constantly changing players. So does God just hate the Detroit Lions as an entity that he's decided they'll never win? Because that's what you're saying, Ayuk, is that God, he woke up in whatever morning is to God. It's probably like 100,000 years for him to wake up and then, have coffee or whatever. But he decided what am I doing today? Oh, okay, we're going to, don't forget, on his to-do list, don't forget to curse the Lions. He might have even slept in. He slept in, wakes up, oh shit, the Lions are winning. I forgot. I hate the Lions. Fumble, weird bounce ball off of somebody's helmet. Ooh, that was a close one. Because I'm God and I hate the Lions and they must not win. So the problem I have with athletes that give God credit for wins is that really the God you want to worship? The spiteful God? Especially if you're Christian, which I'm probably sure he is, because most people are in America. Isn't that whole thing about the underdog? The poor. So you're telling me that God, Jesus, who's all about the poor, shall inherit the earth. The rich, through a needle, eye of a needle, into heaven. You're telling me that God would rather see the 49ers win again? He'd rather see that than to let the Detroit Lions and all of the fans throughout history, he'd rather hurt them. Every single one of them. Because your strategy and your thought is God is going to reward me and my team. And then you forget the part where in order for that to happen, he has to hurt other human beings. So I say to you again, is this really the God you want to worship? Maybe you should keep this under your hat. Hey, I've got a God. He's kind of a dick, but he always helps me out when I need it. He doesn't care who he hurts in the process. Oh, no, he doesn't. No. We have a deal. He helps me, doesn't care who he hurts in the process, and then at the end of the game, I have to just give him a shout out because he's kind of conceited like that. He needs my accolades. He's got this deal with lots of athletes throughout the thing. And then lastly, the other part about this stupid logic. That's why I don't believe in religion. How can I? What you guys have created is just so stupid. What happened to free will? Is it free will or is God helping you out? It can't be both. But what dumb religious people do is they just conveniently pick the one that works. Hey, we magically won this football game we should have lost. God was obviously helping us. However, if they had lost, he wouldn't have blamed God. He would have said, well, God is testing me. It's the way it was meant to be. So just stop it. Stop giving God credit. If there is a God, I believe in God, but I don't believe in this bullshit religious God who helps you out when you ask for it and he's watching everything you do. I think God is more of a, let's just see what happens. You guys are free to do whatever the fuck you want. Otherwise, if you weren't, how do I explain all the horrible things that happen in the world? Because, oh my God, you guys are just monsters. You guys are monsters. So, the only way I could explain all the horrible, monstrous things the humans do is if it's free will and you guys are free to do whatever you want. Maybe it's a test to see if you overcome your natural inclination to be an asshole. I don't know. I'm God. I mean, I know, but you don't know, humans. Oh, hey, look what they did. They created all these fairy tales to try and explain what's happening. Yeah, that's right on par with what I'm saying. But anyway, so it's free will or it's not. You don't get to have the convenient God helps me sometimes, and then when he doesn't, when bad things happen, it was, it's what was meant to be. And certainly 100%, I don't know anything about God, but I know 100% that God does not give a fuck about your football game. Because, once again, if he is making sure that you win the football game, but then letting babies die in Africa, what a piece of shit. And I will never worship that asshole. Yeah, you heard me, God. And I'm only talking to the God who's this big of a piece of shit. I'm guessing that God doesn't exist. God, the real God, I'm talking to you, you're laughing. You're like, yeah, of course, there's no God that does that. Well, actually, there was a God that did that. And we sent him to the place called hell. You might know him as Satan or Lucifer or Beelzebub. Yeah, anyway. So my point is, Ayuk is obviously worshiping the devil.